super happy about that. Because we have to talk about next week. Amanda, are you going to do it next week?
Only if I know some reps will show up. Hint, hint.
Okay. Because because both of us are going to go on vacation next week. So we gotta do a rock, paper, scissors if anybody's showing up.
Maybe you just do a
Wait, I didn't hear that. We do a what?
just run it automatically like a loop or something.
Okay, Amanda.
Under the wire again.
Right, I can't get my thing to change.
Okay. Now I'm
Okay,
definitely leaving.
Oh no, okay. No.
Look
at
Oh, look at Tom Benton.
I made it.
I just had I thought I was gonna have to do Amanda. I thought I was gonna have to do one of those things and run out of the house again because my internet completely froze. I didn't hear a word you all were saying
Oh
about
no.
next week. So
Oh,
I'm just assuming you're all gonna show up. So we're doing it.
I don't know.
Well, so what did you say, Gabe? To do that we should record it this week? We're live, baby.
Yeah, no, I was saying just do a best of clips, just
Oh, I guess we could. I don't know.
but then how you gotta be judging everybody, too much work.
I know. And the whole thing, that's what's so hard about those best ofs, because I feel like I'm like cheating on all the other books when I don't pick them. Because there's so many good, but there are a lot of good books this year. I had this really interesting thing, and I'll have to show later. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta hold with me.
Oh,
You just
Oh,
went
okay.
silent.
uh-oh, you're muted. Okay. Tom, what are the chances you would be here if we did tea time next week?
There's a chance.
Okay, I'm back.
There's a
Okay,
chance it
so
gets snowed
I
tomorrow,
have
too.
before we get started, I see Beth Doherty is on here. Okay, and everybody loves your hat, Tom. Loves it.
That's
Okay.
why I'm late. I had to borrow my daughter's elf hat, and
I love it. I'm just like so happy. It's making me very happy. Okay, but this is super good. And sorry, Gabe and Amanda, but you have to bear with Tom and I for a second. So I'm reading Rebecca Mackay's new book, right?
I thought you might be reading in the lead up. I thought, this is a Rebecca Mackay. Yes, good.
Yes. So
Excellent.
I'm reading it. Did you say you read it, Tom, right?
Yeah.
So when she introduces Beth Doherty, were you just like, I was just like, because
I know.
Beth, I remember, but I kind of forgot, Beth.
Oh,
And when it-
right.
and
It
when
jumps
she's-
out it jumps out at you. I was reading it like 6 months ago, and I was like, oh my God, how did this happen?
And it was so, because it totally jumped out. So then as I was reading, like for the first, like, I don't know, because Beth's a big character in this book. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not just like you got your name like added. It's like, this was like, she's a whole character. And so it took me a little while to, there goes Amanda with her hat too. I love it. It took me a while to, yes, you are tea time famous, Beth Doherty. And it was one of those things that I was reading, like, no, this is our Beth Doherty. I can't read about her.
I know it won't take other people outside of tea time out of the book, but
Right.
for those of us in the world of tea time.
It was definitely one of those where I was like, okay, this is like so just, and you realize though, and it made me realize how much you don't really think about characters' names
You're right.
in that way.
Yeah, and
then when you
rare
know-
authors get them and how they come up, like what is the right name for that character, and
Right.
Yeah,
But when you
sure.
know the person that it was named, and then or not like Beth, we're acting like we know you. I mean, we do know you via virtual, but it was, and I see your profile picture, so I know what you look like. So it was really bizarre. It was really one of those, just like, it was super fun, but it was
I
really
know.
just like,
Same for me. Before I knew there was any real connection, I thought it was just this
A
means something
coincidence?
to me, but yeah,
Right.
I don't know how Rebecca Mackay stumbled upon this name, but
Yeah.
now I-
oh, And so, yeah, she says, of course you know me. Oh, that is so funny. So anyways, that was my fun little story. So I'm a little, so here's my question, Beth Doherty, that you can answer. Did they send you a galley?
Oh, good question.
Because if not, Tom Benton, I'm thinking we need to somehow get Beth
Yeah,
Doherty a galley.
Yeah, that's true. I can certainly.
Or I mean, finished copies are coming soon, but I mean, because that was really kind of fun. Anyways,
Yeah.
all
Let
right,
me
sorry,
know on that.
had to digress. Now my internet's not unstable, so we'll see we'll see everybody who's on screen next week. No, I'm
And
teasing.
have we made a decision about next week? We're
I
doing
don't
it?
think we have.
Oh.
I'm hoping that we stay on. I hope that we do it
You
because it
want
would
to keep
be
the streak alive?
because it would be the only time that we haven't done it since we started in 2020.
Right.
It'd be kind of a bummer, but I'm gonna be at the Grand Canyon. So, no, she hasn't gotten
Wow.
a galley.
Oh, but
So she was gonna ask Rebecca to sign a copy for her though. So,
Oh,
but we'll
Sure.
figure we'll figure something out.
we'll
though.
figure something out.
We'll figure something out. Okay. Okay. Oh, I love it.
Yay.
Yay. So Diane was on here. So she was at a small independent bookstore in Michigan and purchased small things like these and the Reluctant Fundamentalist at that small independent bookstore.
Oh,
in Michigan.
excellent. Nice.
Yeah, good for you. All right. All right. Let's get going. Sorry. Gabe, it'll go Gabe, Amanda, Tom, and then Amanda. So Amanda B, you're after Gabe. So let me do this. I'm just like not with it this morning, this afternoon, whatever.
The
time it
host
is.
has disabled participation screen.
I did. Didn't I let you do that?
Looked like you disabled it.
Multiple
Uh-oh.
participants can share simultaneously.
Feel like we're going backwards, Jules.
I know,
Going
geez.
backwards.
I have it on there for you.
It's open now.
Jeez.
I might have clicked too soon.
Yeah.
Real anxious hitting the button.
Give me a little time here, man.
Bam.
There. There we go.
So last year there was a big Paul McCartney book. It was kind of a big book. It kind of sold a lot of copies. So this is Paul McCartney, and you'd sort of think Paul McCartney, the Beatles. Man, the Beatles had a really pretty short career considering the Who, the Stones, and
Really, when you think it's true, it's really true.
And I just saw somewhere that they had in their first 4 years, they had like 7 albums out or something like that. It was some huge, crazy number. Anyways, from 62 to 67, they had some like 7 albums out. And then, that's a pretty fertile songwriting career.
Right.
And granted, McCartney was not responsible for every single song, but, he was really, he and John were the most involved. So he was very much involved in songwritings, and I'm sure they all worked together. But, and I remember being a little kid and going to the White Front and my dad buying a Johnny Rivers album, and the White Front was like a Target, and the McCartney album he's got with the bowl of cherries on it was out, and it was like everywhere. And then you forget about how many hits he had with Wings. I mean, the 70s and early 80s was just Paul McCartney and Wings like all the time. And you know what? You throw on a Paul McCartney song, Wings song right now, and you tap your feet and it still plays. It still hits. So this is post-Beatle Paul McCartney, 69 through 73. It's volume 1. Obviously, we see more coming because this is only 4 years. So this is pretty much the 2 albums that he did. I think it was only 2 albums that he did between before he got it got Wings going. Interesting dude. The Beatles documentary that was on HBO Max or Disney, whatever it was, Apple, Disney Plus, was really good. And while a lot of people are like, well, John's a real jerk. I mean, Paul's a real big jerk, and he got a real positive look at him. But I think you couldn't deny that he was kind of a relentless creator. And I think that's what this shows. He is just, he's going to work on something. He's going to work on it. He's going to create. And what a career. So he's like 1 million years old now, and still kind of relevant. He still pops up and shows up. But
he played at SoFi. I saw him at SoFi in May.
You
and
want
that documentary, that was my favorite thing of last year, was that documentary.
Hey, I thought that documentary was
Watching
great.
Paul create I think it was Get Back, or
Yeah, Get Back.
watch him happen in real time was incredible.
Yeah,
Crazy.
the way the process worked, and everybody kicking in, and then everybody together, then him just like always. They're doing stuff. He's in the back chugging away. And then he goes on to other things, and then he's like chugging away. But that portion of that pieces of him writing that song through the series was really
amazing.
fun and interesting to see how his mind worked. And he seemed to be the driver. He seemed to be it's
For
business.
sure.
Let's get in the studio. Let's got the messing around and the added. I mean.
I actually
it's gonna be
liked him
king.
more after seeing the documentary. I was not a Paul guy, I was a John guy, but I got it after that documentary.
Yeah, I did too. Actually. I was anyways, a lot of fun. I think for people of a certain age and people who are interested in music, definitely, the soundtrack of our lives.
For sure. And like you said, I mean, those are the things, Gabe, that you captured on that always astound me. How short the Beatles' career was for the legacy, and that, like you said, to this day, the music stands up, which is incredible. That John Lennon was only 40 when he was killed. That's
Right.
another one that kills me. That's like, they just seemed so much older,
Right.
and they seemed to have been around just forever. And then, yeah, his stuff that he did afterwards, like Wings and stuff. I mean, that was my first concert, was Wings Over America,
Wings
Oh,
Over
wow.
America.
Where?
the Forum,
Oh, wow.
A fabulous form.
the Fabulous Forum. And I think it was 1974,
Or
maybe
you
1974.
were a
I think.
child.
I was like Paul McCartney, like John Lennon seemed old for 40. I seemed old for 14.
I also looked older than I was.
Yeah. Somebody said the other day, you haven't changed. I go, Jesus, I look like I was 60 when I was in high school then. I'm not sure that's a compliment.
Stop flattering me, man. Stop throwing flowers at me.
God damn. Whoops. Sorry. Anyways, Amanda. Amanda B. I can't trust me.
Alrighty, here we go. So my first book came out a couple weeks ago. So I have The Light Pirate by Lily Brooks Dalton for you here. This was actually the #1 indie pick for December, so that's very exciting. So it is a wonderful coming of age story that will really resonate with you long after you finish it. It's set in the near distant future, and it is set in Florida, and a young woman. So this is the first part of the book. I'm not really giving much away. Her mother goes into labor with her, and unfortunately does not make it. So now she's coming into her adulthood, and dealing with, growing up without her mother around, and also about, the destruction of the world around us. What kind of world are we living in? There's devastating weather patterns, sea levels are rising, hurricanes are, crazy, of course, nothing that we can relate to at all right now, I'm sure. But it is just a really wonderful story about how she comes to terms with her own life and moving forward in this really chaotic landscape that she's in. And it's just really, really wonderful. Author lives in Southern California, so she is here. It's really wonderful. And it was also a GMA book club selection pick as well. So there you go, The Light Pirate by Lily Brooks Dalton.
So that was the #1 indie pick. Nice.
Yep, for December.
Very good. Yeah, for all of you folks out there watching, that is a testament to, it's hard to get the #1 pick
That's
for
huge,
sure.
man.
And so that means a lot of indie booksellers, and we're kind of have discerning tastes. But a lot of the indie booksellers,
If you do say so yourself.
if I might say so myself.
We read a lot.
We do read a lot, and it takes a lot for us to not all of us to get behind something, because it's not like it's collaborative. It just means that
A lot of
This-
people
this-
got behind it.
this bubbled up enough for a bunch of people to get behind it. So the #1 indie pick, I mean, getting on that list in general is a really good thing, because there's only I don't know, what are there, 18, 15, 18, I don't know how many titles.
Something
are
like
there.
that, yeah.
But #1's pretty cool. So congratulations on that. Okay, Tom.
So I guess we should thank Good Morning America for all they do for books, because that was a Good Morning America pick. This is Killers of a Certain Age. Can we see this? This is their buzz pick for like last week. So they're constantly doing great things for books
Really
that
good.
they love, which is fantastic. So Killers of a Certain Age came out maybe in August, September, and it's been chugging along, finding new readers. It's been a great sleeper success. So why not call it out now? So Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. So these are Billy, Mary Alice, Helen, and Natalie. They are part of an elite network of assassins, and they've been part of that network for 40 years. But now they're considered old school, they're considered out of date, and there are younger people who understand technology more than their old school ways. And so they are targeted for assassination. And so it's a totally fun thriller by Deanna Raybourn, who normally does historical mysteries, which are always well reviewed. But this is a real departure. It's gotten great reviews. But Good Morning America, when they chose their little, I don't know where they got this quote, but it's perfect. The Golden Girls toting Uzis. So what more do you need? That's it. You need this book, Killers of a Certain Age.
Okay, Darcy's on here saying Killers of a Certain Age is great. Beth Johnson has already read it, says it's
Oh, that's
amazing.
great, yeah.
We have some in
Really
the store. So I think it's one of those books that if you're not sure of a gift for somebody, sounds like this would be just like one of those.
Yes.
Who's your other author from England?
I might be talking about that other author in a second. So I'll
Okay,
tell you,
never mind.
I'll tell
Never
you
mind, but
soon.
somebody like that, or those are really good, like last minute gift kind of books.
Yeah.
And I really wish, Amanda, I'll get to you in 1 second. I really wish that Andrea was on here because everybody's in the chat talking about Small Things Like These and
Oh, that's
Foster, and those two are just awesome gift books for people that I know a bunch of you read them on there. I mean, wasn't Foster just so good? It's so good, so good. Anyways, all right, Amanda, what do you got for us?
I'm repeating myself again, but yeah, last minute gifts, cookbooks are always an excellent choice. And I try to eat mostly vegetarian for health and moral reasons, but my roommates recently got a smoker, and it's set right outside my bedroom window,
Nice.
and I can smell it, and there's nothing like I'm so sorry, animals, that delicious scent of flesh. Oh, it's so bad. So every so often I do enjoy barbecue, and if you know someone who is learning the art of barbecue, this is a really great cookbook that is pretty new, came out this year. Horn Barbecue by Matt Horn. He is he's being called the master of West Coast barbecue style, which, as far as I can tell, isn't necessarily a very Californian thing in and of itself, but I think fuses elements of California cookery with really fantastic recipes that he has gathered from the South and from his other travels and his family and friends. And it's a very beautiful book, and it has pretty much everything. It has beautiful sauces and sides and desserts. So yeah, if you're looking for a gift for someone who may have just gotten a smoker in their backyard, Horn Barbecue by Matt Horn.
Love it. Those are great. Those are.
Looks delicious.
What'd you say,
Yeah.
Gabe?
It's tough to find barbecue in the burbs.
I know.
Not
I
even
know.
bad barbecue. We had a place near me and it didn't last. Just
Yeah,
not enough traffic.
everyone kind of, especially in San Diego, it's I did hear about a new place called Corbin's that's supposed to be very good, but
There's
yeah,
a place in South Park by where my daughter lives. That's one of those places. It's on like Redmond and no, it's on 30th and something down there.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those places that actually gets a line and sells out. So it has to be good. But I have no idea what the name is. The barbecue.
I want to stand in line and get sold out.
I know. Good bummer.
Used to be like that at Phil's, but no longer, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No. All right. I'm getting hungry.
I know.
What time?
I just had tamales before we began.
We
No.
haven't. Nobody's been around selling tamales. I need to get some tamales.
Oh, selling them. I make them.
Well, I'm not
Oh.
as talented as you are. Or patient. I think there's a patience involved in that too.
It's a day. It's an entire day, and there's like 10 people working on them.
Yeah. So
She also has a mother who takes charge of that.
I love it. All right. Okay, Gabe, what you got next?
Don't be like that.
On that note.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe I will not bring tamales this year for Christmas.
Oh,
Ooh, family.
you will family. There's a lot of there's more family than just me.
Holiday ruined.
And you know, she'll be ostracized, shunned.
Shunned.
Shunned. So the Scatterlings by Rescotwetsi Manenze is a South African novel. This is the most highly decorated debut novel in South African history.
Wow.
Keep in mind, Damon Galgut is from South Africa, has won a Booker Prize, been nominated for Bookers multiple times. It's the land of Coetzee. I mean, it is South Africa is quite the place.
Nadine Gordimer.
Doris Lessing.
Yeah.
Keep just dropping one. You throw me one, I'll throw you one.
Oh, it's
Oh,
on.
it's down.
I'm out. I got to tap out. I only know like.
Well done. I can't, I'm done too. but-
Yeah, these are the four I know.
You got served.
We're like dueling South African authors. I'm out. So it is a debut novel that's taken South Africa by storm, and this comes from our international. It's our imprint that mostly it's our works in translation imprint, and it is comparable to Tom's line Europa. It's not comparable. I mean, in some ways it is. Europa's got some focuses and a broad literary base, as well as a big noir and mystery commitment. But they do some really interesting international publishing at Europa. And we're getting some really amazing fiction and nonfiction, mostly fiction, most of it in translation at this imprint Via. And it's, you know, works in translation kind of get ghettoized. They're just seen as, oh, it's a book that's, you know, Swedish and it's in English, so I'll buy a copy or I'll buy a couple copies and stick it in the works in translation. You got 85 books, 42 books in there. They're all spined out. And if you got customers that are interested, they'll pull them out. But you know, these books deserve a good look. So I tend to pick quite a few, maybe an inordinate amount of it, but there's just really good writing here. So this is South African. It is 1927. It is a mixed race couple. Abraham and his wife Allison are a young married couple. She is Jamaican by birth, has been adopted and raised by two British people in England. As she got older, living in England, she saw that England had really no space for her. There wasn't a space where she felt accepted or safe in England. So she moved to South Africa, meets Abram, gets married. And then 1927 comes and the Immorality Act is passed. And the Immorality Act basically says that there can be no union between a European white and a person of color in South Africa. So they have two children at this point, and they're fairly affluent, so they're insulated for a while, but eventually, you know, this sort of repressive regime keeps getting momentum as it did. And again, Alyssa realizes that there's not a space for her, and she commits a really dramatic act that stays with you. So it's a real powerful novel. It's a novel that, like I said, it's gonna stick to your ribs, and you're gonna be thinking a lot about it. The writing is really terrific, hard hitting, and I think the jacket, very quiet and understated, but there's a little power to that jacket as well.
It's really good.
Which I think sets the tone for what this book is. But so, you know, I think as repressive regimes go, there's definitely much to talk about right now, as that kind of extremism is out there, and we don't want to go backwards. And it's not that long ago. Deborah's family is from South Africa, and she was there in the 80s, and she was like, you know, she was there like 84, 85, and it was trippy. it was a strange place to be. And that's 40 years ago.
It's not that long.
Not that long.
Nope. That looks like a really good one, Gabe. I was trying to think, Amanda, after we're done, I'm gonna do remind me of the name of the book. It was a white cover with the tree on it. So we're gonna have to do a little book detecting afterwards. I
Oh,
won't
can I-
bore everybody with it.
Wait, can I have another tip? Sorry.
Not
another
yet.
tip?
I'll give you a tip after. I don't want to bug everybody because I can't remember. It's not The Power of One because that's Bryce Courtney, but this one was.
Oh,
This one is. I think it's a book in Africa. It's a white cover.
Yeah.
Tree.
okay.
Red's on the top. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Every
talking
book on
about, right?
Africa's got that
Yeah.
tree on the cover, man.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
But it's bugging me. It's annoying.
Mhm.
It's bugging me. Okay. Amanda B, what do you got for us?
Alrighty, so next up, I have something a little fun here. Beaverland, how one weird rodent made America. Because, why not? So this is just a book about the beaver and what kind of important role
Tom
that the
Benton,
beaver
I'm done watching you.
No, I want to hear more about.
Sorry, Amanda.
No, it's a fun book. I mean, I get it. It's a fun book. I mean, come on now. I mean, who would have thought the beaver had such an important role in shaping our country? But it did. So it just basically kind of talks about beavers, the fur trade, and how it really impacted us. It includes some interesting facts like beavers burnt down the White House in 1812. They also had 2 sets of eyelids.
Did
You
not know that.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, there you go. This is like,
Already learned stuff.
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you now know so much more about beavers. A fun factoids though for trivia though, I assume. Like I feel like this would totally be like a trivia question.
Mhm.
But anyway, so she follows, from when we first hear fur trappers, how they kind of did that, what kind of, what impact that had on our country. And just beavers, everything you ever wanted to know about beavers and, the impact it had. So there you go, Beaverland.
They are pretty amazing though. And they're, I mean, the way they've like changed courses of rivers and all that. I mean, they are a pretty amazing.
They're a mighty little animal.
I
They're a
didn't realize
mighty
they were
little animal.
rodents. I guess they would be considered
I
rodents.
did
They
actually.
are
see-
technically a rodent.
I did actually see that at a friend's house in Montana earlier this year. We were there and they had changed the course. It's a small river, but they had changed the course of the river. You can't, they control you. You don't control them.
Right. I was starting to think when you first said the beaver, I thought it was, it's the otter that's the really cute one that lays in the
Oh,
water
and they hold hands.
and they hold their little babies and stuff.
Aw.
Yeah.
But I think the beavers are just like jerks and they just, change the course of rivers.
They can destroy a habitat.
Burn down the White House.
They burn down the White House. They
Burn down the
destroy
White
rivers.
House.
Otters would never do any of those
Otters
things.
would just be like laying there with
They
it.
just want to have fun.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated by beavers. When I was a kid, it seemed like the Wonderful World of Disney did a beaver thing. I remember
Yeah.
Oh,
being
yeah.
like in the 4th, 5th grade, and then when they used to wheel in the projectors, like movie day after lunch, and you'd watch like a movie about nature, and it was about the beaver and their little
Yeah.
huts that they did, and I was always fascinated by it. It
Yeah.
seems like
They are pretty amazing.
that's
A
gone
unique
away.
animal when the Europeans came because they don't have something like that over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
and there's a lot of
our
hats
own little
with
North
beaver
American
hats and
rodent.
pelts
I
and-
love it. Yeah. Great gift. That would be a really good gift.
I think
Yeah.
for the history
Yeah.
reader,
Yeah.
or the
I think it would be a
Americana
really
thing.
funny gift to get.
Yeah, the way they tie in the science, the history, the culture, it's just like a really big everything you thought you're like, wow, okay, let
And
me
you
know
had-
about the
you
beaver.
didn't know you needed to know it, but suddenly
Exactly.
Yeah.
You did it.
Exactly. That's the fun about books like that, where it's
Mhm.
just like I had no idea I was going to be as fascinated by this.
you
Yeah,
do.
the
love
Book
it.
of Eels that we did last year was one of those just like that. It was like, wow. And
Yeah.
people
Who
kept
knew I
picking
knew-
it up,
Who knew?
Mhm.
All right,
There
Tom
you
Benton.
Okay, so it could be you were talking earlier about a British author named Richard Osman.
Yes.
Yes,
course.
I thought so.
Yes.
So I thought gift giving, so of course I'm talking about the Thursday Murder Club series. The latest hardcover is The Bullet That Missed, came out in September. Before that, we had The Man Who Died Twice and the original Thursday Murder Club. Could not be more fun, this series. Get on board because it's early. We're still only 3 books in and they're totally fun. and you can give them to men, to women, to just about any kind of reader. They're elegant, they're hilarious, they're super smart. And then today, on Richard Osman's Twitter, he said, "Just discovered we have now officially sold over 1 million copies of the Thursday Murder Club books in America alone." So
Wow.
they're even bigger in the UK. But thank you so much, USA. I still wonder what you must make of all the references to lemon drizzle cake and Homes Under the Hammer. So that gives you a taste of Richard Osman. He's fantastic, and we don't have a title yet, but Thursday Murder Club #4 coming September 2023. So why not get any of these books if you haven't already?
And you're so right, like the level of reader goes everywhere from, however young, but my mother
Yeah.
who's 97 loves them. So
Yeah, you're right, and everything in between.
and
Yeah,
everything in between.
they're
So
perfect.
yeah, they really are perfect. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking of with the Killers of a Certain Age.
Great
Oh,
minds.
Soon
I
to
know,
be a
but-
major motion picture
Oh
Yeah, that's right.
from
I mean, Steven Spielberg. That's
Ooh,
Uh-huh.
big time.
Wow,
Yeah.
Super fun.
that's impressive. Anybody watching Fleshman's in Trouble?
I am
I know. Did you?
wild. I have, and I'm also listening to the audiobook because I kind of want to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining.
I
But
know.
I'm only a couple episodes in.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I
know
watched.
there are
I watched
twists.
all of it. It was one of my favorite books when it came out. It was good.
Oh, did you like the adaptation? This
Okay. Okay. It sucks getting old because I swear to God, I don't remember.
adaptation?
I just remember I really liked the book. But as I'm watching the show, I'm going, well, I kind of remember that. So it's
I
like a
know.
whole new experience.
That was it. That was in the book. Yeah,
But I
it's
think it
fine.
all.
It's
But I
very
think it all
faithful,
is because
too.
Taffy, however you say her name, she wrote the screenplay, so she's very intimately involved, and so it is following the book very closely. But I don't have actual recall of that.
I know that feeling. We all have that feeling.
God,
Well,
it makes me like, it scares me a little bit sometimes.
but it's good. It's really excellent. And I know there's a twist coming, but I don't want to know what it is. I think there's a twist coming.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
good.
maybe you don't
I don't-
remember. So
It's gonna be new to me too. All right, Amanda, what do you got?
Continuing on in last minute gifting, I love a good fat wine book, and this is the 3rd edition of the Wine Bible, newly revised, full color paperback, and it's just awesome. It goes through the world place by place and breaks down all of the different wines. I think there's something like 400 plus varieties talked about in of grapes talked about in here. It's also just a very handsome book, and it has little insets of things. I swear I've looked up the same things over and over, like thousands of times in my life. Like, what kind of wine do you chill? How long do you chill them? Do you really need to let wine breathe? And then there are really interesting little side pieces like wine glasses, a history. It's just a lovely book for anyone who likes to drink wine, which I think a lot of people do. So
Once in a
awesome,
while.
awesome gift. Yeah. The Wine Bible, 3rd edition.
I mean, if
I
you
have
let
a-
it breathe, it just absorbs, man. You don't want to lose any wine.
I don't.
Uh,
Well, okay.
I have a wine advent calendar for the holidays this year.
Oh, my roommate got one of those from Costco. It's hard to get those.
Total Wine and More, $50.
I love it. What does it have? Like the little shooters or something?
They're just little. It's a glass. It's like one glass of wine every night, and it's a variety. So like this, I check early in the day to see if I need to chill the wine. So today is a rosé. So I have already put it in the refrigerator so that I may enjoy it this evening.
I love
So
it.
that every night I have my little glass, and then
Here's
I sit and
another
watch
thing that-
Hallmark.
Here's another thing that I didn't realize that for Tom and Dave, we're probably the old snobby ones, but I'm finding more and more now. Well, back in the day, twist top wine was not a thing. I mean, you
Oh,
avoided it at all
You
costs.
get
avoid it.
great
I drank a lot of
top
it.
wines.
I
You
drank
drank
a lot of it.
in the day, but it was not like we were not a sophisticated wine connoisseur drinking. But now it's like good wines have twist tops.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
there's
God,
And
a-
it
I
kind of
love it.
freaks me out a little
There's a
bit.
cork shortage, isn't
there
there?
is a cork
Cork
shortage.
shortage.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
That's
kind of freaks
I
me
didn't
out a
know
little
that.
bit.
I just
And-
like, it's just a lot easier. At my advanced age, I want it, how do I get in the fastest?
Get
And
the fastest.
it's a twist.
But there's
yeah.
still part of my brain though that's just like this
It's like
is
high school all over again.
yeah.
My little ones are all twist tops, but yes.
Also, I feel kind of like when I go to give a gift, when I go to get, because there's a wine, there's a Rhone, Roen Pinot. That's it. There's a high end one, but there's like a middle one that's sort of, it's like a $20 bottle of wine, but it's a really good bottle of wine. That it's like I just want to like kind of have around to give it, but I feel like really cheap because it's a twist. It's a twist on. Okay.
But now you
I
know
might-
there's a cork shortage.
I might have to
That's
put a little
why.
note on the card that says, "Due to cork shortage."
Exactly.
This
And
is why
if
it's a
you're
twist
the
top.
store trying to get the
This is why
twist
it's a
back in
twist top.
after, just if you don't finish,
Yeah,
twist it back
it's
and
way easier.
Way
It is.
easier.
Okay,
That's
I
when
totally
so
digress.
many beautiful wines come that way. And then I turned mine into the twist top ones into a water for my plant. So I drilled holes into the cap and then I fill it with water. And then I turn the wine bottle upside down into the soil and it waters my plants for like 3 weeks. So I don't kill them.
Okay, tea
Wow.
time learning like little tips that aren't even book related. So
Wow.
there you go.
Yeah, because somebody left me 2 plants knowing that I've killed 2 cacti in my lifetime.
Love,
And they're still alive to this day.
love it.
Wow,
All right, Gabe,
that's wild.
lightning round.
Lightning round. And Paul Feig, man about town in Los Angeles and parts of Southern California as well. You might not know the name, but Paul Feig was like Freaks and Geeks, producer for like Freaks and Geeks and Bridesmaids and a number of TV shows. He directs, produces. He's been in the background. He wrote a book 15 years ago. I met him at an SCIBA for a minute. Very funny guy, very unassuming dude, very funny. And this is his pan to the cocktail. This is over 100 recipes. Some are variations on the theme, so Negronis and different kinds of martinis, and others are original creations. He had a podcast during the lockdown, and some of this springs from that. So it's just a fun book. Also, loaded with stories, some very embarrassing stories, as can happen when one drinks too much. And he doesn't consider himself a cocktail expert. This is the cool thing about it but he likes a good cocktail. So, and I'm kind of the same way. I don't think I'm a mixologist or anything, but I've had a drink here or there that stay with me like a meal does, very rarely, but every once in a while, a drink stays with you like a meal does. And that's kind of what he talks about. So it's the appreciation of the cocktail, some recipes, some stories, fun gift book, fun book for yourself to run through.
A great gift book, and that would put together like a little package, like pick a cocktail, put the little things together, and give
Yeah.
that as a gift. Love it. All right, Amanda.
Okay. My last up, as per usual, a children's book. So this is from Lonely Planet, How Everything Works from Clive Gifford, illustrated by James Gulliver Hancock. Clive Gifford, of course, is known for his nonfiction books. So here we have, if we can move forward, is basically how everything works. Work. There we go. So fun little bits. So here's all around a farm, how things work, the hay bales, what's going on in the barn. Here is out in the world. So phones, watches, driving. These are just a small little snippets. These actually fold out. So they're actually 3-page layouts. So you're only seeing just a small little snippet of the images. Super fun for kids. Really great to sit and look through. They're gonna just have so much fun going back and back and just looking at all the little details within this. So here we go. This is a little carnival. So again, talking about mics, lighting, Ferris wheel. So again, super cute, really fun, how everything works.
Lift the flaps,
So
right?
I love
except the pages whole as a whole fold out.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
I think I need to see the cell phone one. I would learn something on that.
Dude, I haven't figured out how the TV worked in the old days. On the
How
radio.
did they do that? I feel like the Willy Wonka, the Johnny Depp movie. It's just like do that in there. Anywho, all right, Tom Benton.
All right, my lightning round. We were talking about this book in the after show last week, and so I thought I'll bring it out to the show.
Oh yeah.
This is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which came out in August and has had a recent rebirth because it was chosen by the New York Times as one of their best romances of the year. And it is a paranormal romance. And the reviewer says, an effervescent stunner about a lonely modern witch hired to teach three troublesome younger witches at an idyllic country house with gardens full of secrets. My favorite bits all come at the end, and I refuse to spoil them. But the joyous shock of this book's finale has lingered since summer. So how fun. So paperback original, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, chosen by the New York Times, which doesn't, romance is what New York Times and a romance column, that's a new thing.
Right.
But very refreshing. It's maybe a year or two old, but nice.
I love it. No, very good. Because that's the thing is that it's there's a lot in that genre, so it's nice when you like can
Pick out what's the best. Like
Right.
maybe you don't read deeply into it, but you want to know what.
But you want to tip in. You want to
Yeah.
tip in, and so that's a good way to tip into it. So I love it. Okay, Amanda, you got something to close us out?
Yep. I talked about this last year around this time, but I want to talk about it again because we're still selling it, and I think it's just a perfect gift book. It's The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows by John Koenig. And I think we have them written up by our registers because it's a beautiful little hardcover, around $20. And it defines new words for emotions we all feel, but don't have the language to express. Let's see, for example, xenosign, the feeling that time is getting faster. Whoa, sorry. Amoranzia, the melodramatic thrill of unrequited love, the longing to pine for someone you can never have. I think, and it also has beautiful illustrations, very weird illustrations, but I think they're really cool. A lot of collage and things. But this is a great gift for someone who likes to think about words. I think these words could also work as writing prompts if you know someone who likes to have a little bit of a push or an impetus to write about certain things every day. Thrapped, awed at the impact someone has had on your life. So they're all made up words, but they all make a lot and
And there are things we need words for, but don't have them, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Angosis, the malaise that results from having unlimited access to something. They're all just so cool. So that's The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows.
I love it. Okay, so I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to be here next week for it because I thought a theme could be if we are showing up. So I love and hate social media, but one thing I do love is when it pops up and gives you, I don't know if I'll be able to show this to everybody. It's not going to show. It's too bright. It popped up from a post that I did in 2013 of the 10 books that have stayed with you in some way, and they can be in any order. So in 2013, my list was Blindness, Shadow of the Wind,
Oh yeah.
Every Man Dies Alone, The Bells, An Instance of the Finger Post, The Night Circus, The Witching Hour, The Charm School, Garden Spells, and People of the Book. So I was like, that was a really kind of fun little snapshot back to like what I was thinking. And actually a lot of those would stay, but there's a lot more that would get put on in the last 9 years from now. But
Have you read the new one from the Garden Spells author?
Not yet. But I don't know that one would stay on. That one might be
Okay.
the one that would go off. Blindness, though, Sarmagia, Blindness, still to this day, is one of those books. Have you guys read it?
No.
Oh, Jose Sarmago. You got to read it. Just gonna say, it is
It's
just
a complicated read, man.
so much so, but it is just and my book club who has different levels of it was actually a book club book. And to this day, it's probably one of the best book club books as far as like a book so this is almost 10 years ago. And I think we probably had read it like however many years before that. It's still just one of those visceral, just incredible. It's a really good book. Anyways, so next week, I'm hoping that we figure out how to come on live. Amanda, you might be a one-man show next week.
No one wants that.
You could
I'll give you a
perform
heads up
tricks
if I'm not
also.
coming.
You could do magic. You could.
You could do some
Juggle.
magic. You could like, I could call in. I could do like the weather report guys that are like standing like their hair's blowing. I could do one of those from the Grand
On
the
the
Grand
scene.
Canyon.
That would be great.
Live from the Grand Canyon. I could come to.
Who needs books when you've got that?
Exactly. Coming to you live. All right, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. It's been a really good year. It's been really fun still doing this. So well, lots of good books. Hopefully lots more good books next week too. So with that, everybody have a good week. Happy reading. Bye.
Bye.